Joining me right now is Kurt Holobaugh. He is going to be competing at UFC Boise on July 14th versus Raoni Barcelos in a featherweight bout. What's going on, Kurt?
How's it going, man? Thanks for having me on.
Currently, the big issue right now in the UFC is the early weigh-ins, man. How do you feel about this change that they're going to make?
You know, I like the early weigh-ins. I don't see anything wrong with the early weigh-ins. Who don't want to be able to show up from a certain time frame, 9 till 11 o'clock, and just weigh in and get it over with whenever you want? You know, I don't really understand the guys that are wanting these late weigh-ins where you got to, make weight at whatever time of the day, and then you got to wait all the way to 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening. Then you got to get lined up, and they're going to put you on the scale accordingly to fight order and stuff like that. And you get less time to recover. You get from 5 o'clock to the next night's recover. Why not weigh in at 9 o'clock, make your damn weight, get on the scale, get off, rehydrate. You get, 7 more hours to rehydrate? I don't understand the big issue with it.
Are you an early morning guy, or do you like to be up late?
No, I'm not an early morning guy, but for a weigh-in, I would love to get up, weigh in early mornings, make the weight, and just spend the rest of the day rehydrating. To me, there's nothing better. Whenever I am doing late weigh-ins, I don't even want to wake up in the mornings. When I wake up, I want to go back to sleep and try to sleep all the way until, I need to get up and go cut this weight. I'll set myself a time limit. If I think I need 3 or 4 hours to cut however many pounds that I have, that's what I'll take, and I'll wake up, go cut the weight, make it to where as soon as I make weight, I head to the weigh-in, somewhere close.
All right, man, let's get into it. Last July, you were involved in a cautionary tale, right? On the Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series, you won a contract with a vicious knockout of Matt Bessette, but then subsequently you were suspended for 8 months by Nevada for using an IV. What did you learn from this whole ordeal?
I learned IVs in Nevada are banned. So, to anybody out there just fighting in any promotion, you fight under Nevada Athletic Commission, you cannot use an IV. I didn't know that, because the Contender Series is not held under the USADA program. So I was not under USADA. I actually only thought that the IVs were only prohibited by USADA. I didn't know that any other states really had any bans on it. And I don't know where the word actually came from, but I know my teammates were like, you're not under USADA. You can do an IV if you want. And I'm thinking, why not? Not that the weight cut. I made weight easily, man. I made weight the night before. I hit 146 flat. I woke up the next morning expected, because I ate a little bit of fruit and drank a little bit of water, so I expected to wake up about a half a pound over. But when I woke up, I was actually under 146. So I'm like, screw it. I'm good. I feel good. I went and weighed in, rehydrated. I didn't even need an IV, but it was there, and I thought that I can use it, and I was wrong.
Worst case scenario, right? The UFC could have really, terminated your contract, but they decided to keep you on the roster. And what were their thoughts, on this whole dilemma?
The UFC and, Jeff Nowinski had my back the entire time. They showed up to the court case and even tried to plead my case, and I really got an unfair hearing at the court case in the first place because, I had to make the call by phone call, and, their radios were bad. They couldn't hear what I was saying. So, of course, they're going to find me guilty. I didn't even get a chance to plead my case, And then it goes back to Nevada. Nobody from Nevada even explained any kind of rules. It was never in any kind of contract, never in any kind of paperwork. So, the UFC had my back. They was ready to put me on a card right after the Contender Series. I thought I was going to get on the Norfolk, Virginia card with Dustin Poirier in them. And, it turns out that Nevada suspended me.
Yeah, man, it's just a terrible dilemma all the way around. You had a long road back to the UFC. What kept you pushing when a lot of guys would have fell off by now?
What it really was is, and I owe it to these guys too, because a lot of these guys kept me motivated. There's a lot of guys around here that, were getting into the UFC, making debuts, winning the bonuses. And, I'm like, man, that could be me. That's what I signed up for in the first place. That's what I want. That's what I'm going to do. So, you know, I had a long road back, and it wasn't easy. I fought some very tough guys. You know, fought all around the world, went to Russia and fought Frodo Kaspalayev, who is a top featherweight in the world. Andre Harrison, one of the best in the world. Desmond Green, Lloyd Woodard. Man, I fought Jay-Z Cavalcanti, Matt Bassett. I fought very, very UFC caliber guys. And, you know, I lost some close decisions to some, and then I dominated others. So, you know I got what it takes to be in the UFC. I know what I got what it takes to be a champion. And I know what it takes to be the best in the UFC. So, you know, now it's time to make that stride.
You've been sitting on the sidelines knowing that you're going to get your chance in the octagon. What were some aspects of your game you focused on in that time?
You know, I just really like to work on everything. But, of course, my biggest aspect, my biggest weakness in the game is probably my wrestling. So, you know, I've constantly worked my wrestling. I've constantly worked my top game, my bottom game. You know, still try to start with my striking. And I think just with these 9 months off, I wasn't being lazy. It's not like I went and sit on the couch. You know, I own a gym. I'm in here every night with my guys. You know, all them fight, so I'm pushing them for fights. And now they're all pushing me. So, you know, honestly, I feel great right now. I've been anticipating this. I've been waiting on this for almost 10 and a half months right now. And I'm happy to get the matchup. I like the matchup. So, you know, July 14th is go time.
In that time frame, did you stay close to home the whole time, or did you go out to other camps and train and got a little taste of what's out there?
You know, I always stay close to home. You know, I like to be around home. You know, I love to be around my family. They're what really motivates me. And I got so many tough guys here to work with. You know, we have 37 gyms or something like that in the South. So we're packed. We got tons of guys to work with. I do travel a little bit back and forth to Port City, Alabama to work with some of my guys up in Port City. You know, I got some good friends up there, some really high-level guys. Got some fighting in LFA this weekend. And all those guys can really push me hard. So besides that, going back and forth, I'm actually going to Alan Belcher MMA Saturday to work with my friend Brandon Davis. We're going to get some work in, you know, another UFC featherweight. So, you know, I get plenty of work. So I'm just trying to keep on building up.
Yeah, it's been you know, since your last fight, it's been a long time. When did you decide to ramp up your training for this fight in Idaho?
You know, I'm ramped up right now. We got, like 23 days. You know, my weight's great. I'm not starving. You know, I think I eat probably, you know, it's not a bad meal, but I eat a good meal once a week right now. And then throughout the rest of the week, I'm on, you know, my meal prep, my diet meals. And, you know, I'm waking up for the last week under 160 pounds. Normally, I'm waking up about 23 days out. I'm waking up at, you know, maybe 167, 169. I'm normally very heavy, and I'm very big featherweight. I'm a big lightweight. So right now, I got everything working for me. Everything looks good. My weight looks good. My cardio looks good. My skill set looks good. And I'm going to show everybody July 14th.
This is going to be the start of your second run for the promotion. What changes do you see apparent in yourself going into Boise?
You know, experience. You know, like I said, I fought all around the world. I'm a 2-division champion for Titan FC. You know, I fought legends. I fought undefeateds. You know, I fought on TV. So, you know, it's nothing different. This fight ain't going to be no different than any other fight. You know, it's the UFC now. Now, this is what I've been waiting for. This is what I'm busting my ass the last 5 years to get back to. So, I'm ready.
Your opponent, Barcelos, he is a BJJ world champion, very aggressive, likes to stand and trade. Do you believe this will play into the traps you will lay for him?
Yeah, that's perfect. You know, bring whatever you got. Whatever you think you have better than me, bring it. Because we're going to find out. Once the cage door locks, it's me and you. It's your BJJ versus my BJJ. It's your striking versus my striking. Let's see who's going to land first. Let's see who's going to get caught first. You know, I think I'm a world-class BJJ guy myself. You know, I have more submissions than he does. And I've fought tougher opponents than he has. I want to say my last 2 opponents, BJJ black belts, you know, and handle them very easily. So his jiu-jitsu doesn't scare me. I know my jiu-jitsu's plenty enough to handle his. And, his striking doesn't scare me. I know I'm a good striker. I've never been outstruck in a fight in my life. So if he wants to stand up and trade, then, I welcome it. If he wants to shoot and take me down, then, I really think that I'll smash him with elbows.
Yeah, you definitely improved that in your last fight because your striking was on point against Matt Bassett.
Yeah, I work a lot of boxing. I think I move a lot different than other guys move. I bring a very good boxing style into the octagon or the cage, and I mix it in well with my mixed martial arts, and I got other things that I hadn't really got to use, everybody's really seen me use elbows on the ground, I got some good elbows from ground and pound, but I've never got to show really my elbows from the clinch. I haven't really got to show my knees from the clinch, my Muay Thai. So, with this fight with Barcelos, I think that I'm going to be the bigger guy. There's no way that I'm not the bigger guy. He's a 135er / 45er. I'm a 45er / big 55er. So, I think this fight definitely favors me.
You've been out of competition for a while. We've talked about that. But he has been out of competition double the time you have. Do you believe that ring rust will, be a factor in this fight?
I'm going to say no because I had a knee surgery. I broke my patella back in 2014 against Lloyd Woodard. And I felt like I came back about a year and a half, almost, I think it was 2016, after my knee surgery and after my rehabilitation and all that. And I think that I put on one of the best fights of my life against Desmond Green. I think everything worked perfect for me. My cardio felt fine. My strategy was great. And I picked up the win. So I'm not going to say he's going to have any ring rust, but I'm the wrong opponent to take on a two-year absence, So we're going to see how that plays out.
When you look at your resume and compare him to your other opponents, what differences stand out about him?
He's fast and he's got some good jiu-jitsu. I hadn't really seen his wrestling game much. I've only watched, 2 or 3 videos and a few highlights from him. And, he's got a very weird right hand, but he hits hard. I can't overlook anything he does. He's a good fighter. He's got speed. He's got power, so I can't overlook anything. I just got to go out there and fight my fight exactly like I've done the last 4. And there's no way this guy will stop me.
How do you see the rest of this year playing out for you after this fight in Boise?
I want to go in and I want to dominate this fight quickly. I want it to end quickly, first round, early second round, no injuries. And, I want to fight at least one more time by the end of the year. So as long as I can stay healthy and get through this fight, which I really do think I can, that's what I plan on doing.
All right, July 14th, Kurt Holobaugh will face Raoni Barcelos at UFC Boise. Man, this fight, I'm excited for this fight because this style matchup, I think, will produce crazy fireworks, man. I think it's the dark horse matchup of this card, even though this card has so many good fights.
Yeah, when you stop and look at this, man, I know he's got 2 championships from RFA. I got 2 championships from Titan. I'm slowly knocking off these good regional champions. I fought a lot of good regional guys. Jay-Z, I fought for the title. Desmond Green, I fought for the title. Matt Bassett, he's the CES featherweight champion. And now I get the RFA featherweight champion. And I'm not sure if he got 2 featherweights or a 35. I'm not sure on that, so don't hold me to it. But, I have the Titan 145 and 155-pound championship. So, I'm a world champion. He's a world champion. I've been fighting nothing but world champions. So this is definitely not the fight to miss.
All right, Kurt, thank you for your time, and definitely good luck on your matchup and the future that you have.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.